You cannot make this up, you know. You got Disney over here spending hundreds of millions in dollars on that Snow White remake movie that nobody wants, right? Meanwhile, they are shutting down the studio that is responsible for easily one of the most successful shows in Star Wars history, Clone Wars. Not to mention The Bad Batch as well. That's another show that was very successful on the Disney Plus app, right? It was also one of the most successful shows on Disney Plus, season 7 of Clone Wars. But these idiots, these morons over at Disney are shutting down that studio. Shutting it down. This is why Star Wars under Disney has been a complete failure, because these morons do not understand what real Star Wars fans like. They don't get it, right? Instead of doubling down on these type of shows, right? Instead of doubling down, they're over here making, you know, the Acolyte with you know, every member from every marginalized group. It's all about, you know, being progressive, pushing the woke agenda, all that shit. You know, I saw something weird that apparently on the Acolyte, there's going to be hardly any lightsaber duels in there. There's going to be a lot of hand-to-hand combat. Anyway, the point is that these idiots and these morons over at Disney Lucasfilm do not understand what makes Star Wars, what made Star Wars so successful. This is proof of that. They are shutting down the studio that produced one of, if not probably, the most successful TV show they had under Star Wars, Clone Wars. You really can't make this up with these idiots. You really can't. Look at this. Disney officially shutters Lucasfilm Animation Singapore, claiming decision was made in response to the economic factors affecting the industry. Basically, this is just code talk for Disney is losing hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions. So they need to stop the bleeding. So now they are shutting down studios. I think they shut down the Tron movie as well. They're shutting everything down. But the shit that they are not shutting down is the shit that nobody wants. Like Disney. Seriously, if you guys are losing money, right? Cancel the Snow White movie. Cancel the Acolyte. Cancel all this other garbage that nobody wants. I think I saw that they are like laying off more people at Lucasfilm. How about you lay off Kathleen Kennedy, huh? How about we start with that one? How much money is that going to save? I think, this is just me personally, I think her salary would probably pay for the salary of these people over in Singapore. The people that are responsible for literally keeping Star Wars alive after Revenge of the Sith. Seriously, Clone Wars kept Star Wars alive. Clone Wars is actually responsible, probably, and I can be wrong, but I'm probably not. I'm probably 100% right. Clone Wars is responsible for a whole new generation of Star Wars fans. You know, I was right there when it started. Clone Wars, that's probably around the time that I became a Star Wars fan, like a hardcore Star Wars fan. I watched the originals before that, but it was pretty much Clone Wars that solidified me as a Star Wars fan. And now these idiots are shutting down that studio when they could have doubled down, right? Doubled down with that studio and create more content using this type of animation, using this blueprint. I mean, let's brainstorm a little bit. Can you imagine a Clone Wars style animated TV show, right? Based on, I don't know, like the events immediately after Return of the Jedi, you know, or maybe a show during the original trilogy, or hell, maybe a show that covered the events of the Old Republic. Can you imagine this show? Can you imagine the numbers that this show would do, right? But these idiots, they don't understand. These idiots over at Disney, they are more focused on pushing the identity politics, pushing the garbage, than actually giving us a good quality show. Case in point, I want to show you guys something real quick. This is one of the actors for The Acolyte. This is Jodie Turner-Smith. And he is praising the series as part of a new wave of more inclusive and a beautiful representation of Star Wars shows. Okay, now that is important, sure. I'll give him that. That's cool, you know, more representation, more inclusivity. You know, that's never a bad thing, I suppose. But that should not be the main focus when we're talking about a good Star Wars show. No, the main focus of a good Star Wars show should be and should always be a good story. You know, we don't want this dog shit that apparently in the Acolyte it's gonna have it's not gonna have guns, and they're hardly gonna have any lightsaber duels. It's gonna be a lot of hand-to-hand combat, a lot of knife combat. Like, that sounds like hot garbage to me. And I've actually seen the leaked trailer for the Acolyte, and there's hardly, I don't think there's any really lightsaber duels in the trailer. The point is that these morons, right? These morons over here firing the people that made Star Wars great for the past 2 decades, ever since Revenge of the Sith, and then instead they're keeping these idiots around, right? These idiots think that George Lucas was a misogynist. This is the idiot they're keeping, by the way, right here. This is Harvey Weinstein's ex-personal assistant, the creator to the Acolyte, right? Leslie Headland. This is who they're keeping. Meanwhile, those poor souls that kept Star Wars alive, you know, in the studio for the Clone Wars, the art studio for the Clone Wars, they're gone. But she's staying. And then they're wondering why nobody wants to see their dog shit. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. And like always, don't forget to subscribe. Sensational.